When I'm listening to music and I'm listening to a new artist and I start to rationalize, well, the track is really good, the beat's great, the vocal sounds really good. Whenever I do that, I know I'm going down the wrong path. I know to turn it off and walk away from it because I'm rationalizing it as opposed to feeling it. Because all of the successes that I've had, I get goosebumps when the artists that I work with. And it just it's right. It just feels right. And I've been told many times that I was out of my mind when I did the Titanic soundtrack, the Titanic song, My Heart Will Go On. I was told by my company it was going to be a complete failure, and I thought I was going to be fired.
That's crazy.
But you kind of just do it. Because I didn't know any other way to do it. I could not do it, so I just did it.
I'm so glad you made that choice for all of us.
The more that you pave relationships with people and the more that they can see how valuable it will be to collaborate with you, the more trust you'll have. You could meet a collaborator that you'll be with for decades because you develop this wonderful trust and enthusiasm with and for each other. When we see people come into, a studio to record music, or someone comes to me and they say, I have a new artist, will you take a look at them? And when we see people come in to audition for Broadway shows, we already have all the other famous people that you're already aware of. We already have them. We want to know you. What's unique about you? There's nothing wrong with going in and letting it fly and just being who you are, because that's the spark that's going to be exciting to us on this side of the audition table, so to speak. And so celebrate yourself and
one thing to be a go-getter, it's one thing to want to do everything everywhere all at once, but you also need a moment to see the big picture. And I think that's something that people forget. I did for many years, of seeing the entire big picture, that you don't have to be everything and you don't have to be everywhere all at once, if that makes sense. You watch, you observe, you learn. And then you find out what the good practices are, and you also learn what not to do through observing, especially in studio sessions. So I think for me, that was really the lesson that I still need to learn, is patience.
I love that.
Patience.
And I love the way that you are telling us about this lesson, because you're embodying that life is constant growth and being, you're still on this journey of becoming, which is so beautiful because we're always, always becoming. So that's so beautiful the way you put that, and I really appreciate that.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The important thing was, every relationship is worthwhile in the industry. It's really good to be. It's really good to do everything you can to be great to other humans. Mm-hmm. If you want to do something, just try doing it and work really hard at it. Stick with something you love and work hard at it, and be great to the people you get to work with.
Be open-minded, stay observant. I sort of feel the second you start thinking you understand how something is, you've stopped understanding it. You no longer... Things are changing all around you all the time. The music, everything. And, I have a definition of art. It's that, the second you say it's this or it's that, someone will come along and just do exactly the opposite and blow everyone away. So, I think that do be true to yourself. Do think about what is important to you. Are you comfortable with what you're doing? Is it fun? Do you believe in mental health is important? Mm-hmm. By the same token also of holding yourself accountable, to stay observant and be kind is really important, and be present. I would say think about the people you're working with and you're around, and expect that. I know that when I was younger, I would try to, even on the bandstand or just in life, I would try to, I can do something to make this work. If something wasn't working, I was like, I could play this, and I would try to adjust to compensate for things. And at some point I realized maybe that's not helping, actually. Let things unfold as
I
they
think it's really important to sort of find your tribe and be social. And that's kind of something that maybe probably doesn't have to be said, but it would have had to be said to me. So especially, I didn't really, there weren't really a lot of like female people in my position that I knew of at the time. Because I wasn't out there, I was just in the studio. I was just like, I'm just gonna keep my head down while I'm like, getting experience, and then, my work will speak for itself one day. So it wasn't until like way later, after sort of, doing some events like this, coming to New York, but there's this feeling of like, oh, well, if other mastering engineers, there are not a lot of us, and so like if they're your competition, and that was such nonsense. It's really important to work with your professional peers and as human beings, and just
discount how willing to help people are. If you ask for it. With that piece of wisdom comes other subsets of wisdom, which if it's okay to share just a few quick things that I've learned. One of them is that your network is your net work, but there are opportunities that are meant for you at the time that you're in right now, and so be ready for those opportunities when they come up. You never know what opportunity is going to present itself to you at a certain moment. All that I know is that you've got to be ready for them when they are, because things don't come around a second time if you're not ready. And if you take on a gig, do a good job. Don't just do the best job you can, like make sure it's good, not just for your standards, but everybody's standards, and make sure it's the best if you can too. And then the last thing that I wanted to tack on to that is separate from any industry advice. It's just to take care of your health. It's the one thing you can never get back.
Yeah.
Just take care of, whether it's mental or physical health, just, honor yourself in that way.
People, when they're young, equate their success at with the music business, with how good they are as an artist. And I see these things as two parallel tracks. You have two parallel tracks. There's being good at business and there's being a good artist. And they don't even need to cross. I think of them almost like you have two arms, right? And you work them both out at the gym, right? One side is being a good artist, being the best artist you can be. A lot goes into being the best artist you can be. You can overdevelop this muscle and not develop this muscle at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then the other one is being great at business and the relationships and the social media and all the other stuff and the network, and you can be great at this and be a terrible artist. So what you want to do for your career in music is you want to work both muscles and understand that if one is a little weaker, it doesn't make you, it's not a qualitative good bad thing. It's that muscle needs attention, and you need to take time to nurture that attention.